Welcome. We are so pleased to be here back at the ITF Summit this year and to welcome you to the launch of the United Nations Road Safety Fund's annual report from 2022. Local actions, global impacts. By way of introduction, the UN Road Safety Fund, set up in 2018, is the foremost way for countries, companies, and individuals to financially support the UN's work with its partners to help developing countries on improving road safety. Here today to help me launch this report are champions of the fund. Today I'm joined by Daniela Klockert, the Parliamentary State Secretary in the Germany Federal Ministry for Digital and Transport. I'm also joined by the UN Secretary General Special Envoy for Road Safety, Mr. Jean Todt, Ms. Olga Algoyerova, the Executive Secretary for the UN Economic Commission for Europe, as well as Nicolas Beaumont, the Senior Vice President for Sustainable Development and Impact at the Michelin Group, and then Susanna Zamaratora, Director General of the International Road Federation. By video message, we also have the Honorable Minister of Transport from Argentina, His Honorable Diego Giuliano. So without further ado, please allow me to welcome Ms. Klockert to the stage to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you very much. Jean Todt, Nenka Henry, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for inviting me to this event to the United Nations Road Safety Fund. I'm really pleased to be here for the launch of the annual report entitled Local Actions, Global Impacts. With its title, the annual report follows one from the previous one, which was also about making an impact. And the work of the UN Road Safety Fund is bearing fruit. This is illustrated by the many projects from the fund's short history, which are also reflected in its annual reports. Last month, the fund celebrated its 5th anniversary, and the Federal Republic of Germany would like to use this opportunity to offer its congratulations. 5 years of global commitment to road safety work mean 5 years of intensive cooperation with a wide range of stakeholders worldwide. The Federal Republic of Germany values the work of the UN Road Safety Fund and is therefore pleased to be among its donors. We have recently made a donation of the fund and hope that we have not been the last donor. After all, supporting road safety activities in low and middle income countries concerns us all. Road safety work does not end at national borders and must not exclude individual nations. As a result of our mobility behavior, almost everyone will meet in road traffic at some point somewhere in the world. And at that moment, everyone must be aware of their responsibility as road users. Germany is also aware of its role in global safety work. At national level, we have achieved a lot in the past 50 years. The number of road fatalities has been decreasing continuously. Nevertheless, despite or perhaps because of these achievements, we too continue to strive for Vision Zero, which has been jointly agreed at global level. In this effort, we are facing challenges just like other countries, but we know that we are not alone in tackling them. International corporations plays an important role here. For example, via the UNRSF, the UNECE's Global Forum for Road Traffic Safety, or in the context of the World Health Organization's Global Plan for the Decade of Action for Road Safety. I consider this to be an important contribution to the common goal of sustainable development. The joint search for solutions is just as important in this regard as the participation of low and middle income countries in their own strategies. The participation is based on the awareness that national strategies are not easily transferable to other countries and must always be adapted to be a country's specific framework, conditions, and requirements. With its work, the fund is able to respond to regional requirements and adapt the road safety activities and the projects of these requirements. And for this reason, I would like to call on you all to support the work of the Human Road Safety Fund with your contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cluckert, for those remarks and those insights. Particularly important and resonates with me is the fact that this is a global problem that requires this international cooperation that you spoke about, even if it does mean we have to adapt to local context. With that, I'd like to give the floor now to the UN Special Envoy, Mr. Todd, to give his opening remarks. You may do it from the chair or from the podium as you wish.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to address you today at the launch of the 2022 annual report of the UN Road Safety Fund. Along with my fellow speakers, I'm encouraged to see the showcase of the fund's collective efforts to shape safe, sustainable, and inclusive transport systems. These small successes, which provide hope for more impact, is the reason I continue to advocate for the fund as the UN Secretary General Special Envoy for Road Safety and as a member of the fund's advisory board. In 2022, I was particularly glad to support the fund in promoting a range of private sector, government, academic, youth, and civil society voices at the UN General Assembly high-level meeting on improving global road safety. When 1.35 million people needlessly die every year, with an estimated 50 million more seriously injured, and with most of the burden shouldered by low and middle-income countries, we must act. Bad road safety conditions affect the world's poorest people most. The report lays out how the fund's interventions in 46 countries work, led by 14 UN partner organizations, as well as with 5 civil society partners now on board. All of this is thanks to the financial support and backing of 26 governments and corporate donors. A good example of progress is a project involving 22 countries in East and West Africa, which have adopted harmonized regulations on importing used vehicles. Making sure safer, cleaner used vehicles circulate on Africa's roads and that they are benefiting drivers and road users, as well as helping to meet air quality and climate targets. Now the fund is supporting a second phase of activities in Central and Southern Africa, as well as in Asia. Another example is the action plan on post-crash care response for policymakers in Bangladesh, along with protocols and training manuals in place for volunteers, transporters, and healthcare providers. Based on this, a scalable model on pre-hospital care has been piloted at a 10-kilometer stretch of national highway. Later, in 2023, I will be accompanying the fund on a highlights trip to see these results first in the country. To cite a final example, there has been a significant increase in high visibility traffic enforcement operation in the state of Pará in Brazil. Early data shows that these interventions help to lower the high road crash fatalities rates in the state by 1/3 within the last year alone. The project success can be replicated elsewhere in the future in the world. We can make impact. However, more funding is needed, and we need to bring more players on board. It is absolutely essential. Let me close by using this opportunity to call on more nations, cooperation, and individuals to support the work of the fund and to join our coalition for change. As this report sets out, we know our investments can lead to results at the local level, and we also understand what is needed from us at the global level to build a safer future for all of us and all our dears. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Todd. He, as a special envoy and in personal capacity as well, continues to be an unwavering advocate to the work of road safety and to the success of the work of the United Nations Road Safety Fund. Thank you very much for already kind of unveiling a little bit some of the local actions that we've been supporting over the last 5 years. And I invite you to go to our website, to download the report, to learn more about these 36 project interventions that we have across 46 countries. With that, I'd like to now give the floor to Ms. Algayova to deliver opening remarks as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Annika. Dear colleagues, dear friends of road safety, dear Jean, the Special Envoy of the Secretary General of the United Nations for Road Safety, dear our donors, cooperators, and dear guests. So few of you came today, and we are very thankful to see at least you. But this is unfortunately the picture that we see today when we are dealing with the road safety. Indeed, the International Road Forum Summit 2023, these days in Leipzig, all ministers we are seeing here, nobody here, you know. So we are very grateful for this space that was created to this important topic. And especially Envoy mentioned it very clearly, 1.35 million deaths, 50 million victims. For us as Economic Commission is 5, 6, even 10% of GDP that countries are losing every year. I have some number from Zambia. It's 835 million annually. Can you imagine these numbers? You know, so thank you for having this space, but I really would expect bigger interest, not only at this moment and in this room, but you see, as our director of the fund mentioned, we are launching the UN Road Safety Fund Annual Review 2022, and you can read how many projects. So we addressed road safety issues in 50 countries. Then last year in summer, we made a General Assembly high-level event. So we fundraised additional about 15 million so that we can address another 16 countries. And the fund has a target to have 90 countries in 2025, I believe, right? So people are working, Special Envoys working tirelessly. But, you know, what governments are telling us, we have COVID, no money. We have war, no money. So nobody minds people are dying. Nobody minds this economic cost. So what is it? What happened with this war? If we have journalists here, can you quote me, please? Where are we investing if we don't invest into the human lives? Why we have the fund and the Special Envoy seat in the UNEC? Because UNEC has the only one UN global inland transport body. We are hosting 60 conventions. Many of them are on the road safety. So this is why we wanted to create the synergies and to bring attention to the road safety issue. By the way, Agenda 2030, each government undersigned in 2015. And we have our target 3.6.11.2, asking all the international community to decrease number of victims by 50% till 2030. Okay, we cannot raise money. Nobody is interested. Nobody comes to the meeting even today. So I am thankful that I see at least up to 10 faces here. So I would like to express my gratitude to our donors, Michelin, International Road Federation, that and many of them, you will see them in the annual report, who were supporting fund so far during its 5 years existence. But it's not enough. We can disperse annually $4 million. Can we address the global numbers, victims, deaths, tragedies, economic loss? We cannot. So thank you, our supporters, our donors. Stay with us, please. We need much more. Of course, we are ready to work to implement much more, to help much more countries. We are inventing fresh approaches. You know, this Annika can speak about it. You have it in the report. So thank you. We need to change something in this world. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Executive Secretary. Just to say, much like the road safety crisis, which is hidden, we also have quite a number of hidden members of the media and press who are online. We have 60 guests with us as well, so we can't see them, but they're there. But indeed, I do echo that we do need more commitments all around, from the media to the countries, to the companies, to the individuals. And this a lot is touched upon in this report, this particular report, which the aspects around global impacts. Because this is why the fund is working on making sure that road safety is seen as a development priority, and that we're mobilizing more advocacy around this. So Executive Secretary has to leave for a flight, and Honorable Mr. Todd also has to leave for another engagement. So in a moment, we will see them depart. Also, Madam Cluckert might have to leave again, also for some previous commitments. So we will move into the next phase of the launch of the event, which is more of a panel format, where we have a discussion with Nicholas and Susanna. So with this, I'll move to my question to Nicholas, which is basically, Michelin has been with the fund since the start. You're a long-standing donor. You've been working on road safety on your own in and of itself already. What is the value that you're seeing in supporting the UN Road Safety Fund and our approach to tackling this very localized issue, but through a global partnership approach?
So thank you, Neka. I'm very, very happy to be here. So at Michelin, we are convinced that mobility is essential to humankind. So that's why mobility needs to be sustainable, which means safe, green, efficient, and accessible to all. And these four domains should be treated with the same degree of importance. And that's why for us at Michelin, zero CO2 for transport is as important as zero fatalities for transport. That's the first point. As a global company, it's impractical to deliver concrete actions on the ground in all the countries that we are present. And moving the needle globally truly depends on locally focused responses. And the UN Road Safety Fund makes it possible. You think globally, you act locally. It makes it possible for Michelin to have impact on the ground, to reach multiple countries through global pooling of resources and expertise. And through our contribution to the fund, we are proud supporters of road safety in close to 50 countries, and we are extremely proud of it. So this is the point I wanted to make, and thank you. Thank you, Neka.
Thank you very much, Nicola. So I'm going to turn to Daniela now. So Daniela, as we can see, this report is looking not only at the global impacts, but local actions, which is critical for the success of this agenda. We are working together with you in Africa, particularly in Tanzania, and we'd love you to walk us through what that cooperation looks like. What is the value that you see in these approaches that we're doing together?
Thank you very much. And it's really a pleasure for me to be here sharing this wonderful experience. I would be a little bit more positive in that respect. And I bring to the table a positive experience. I'm not saying it has been easy. It has been hard to work in Tanzania with the 10-step project for more than 3 years. But we have seen the value of that engagement. I'm also very pleased to talk about this project. And by the way, page 31 of the report, because we won't have enough time to tell you all the details. It was a very much articulated project. But it's a project that really shows the catalyzer role that the fund can have. We were under the leadership of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. IRF, the International Road Federation that I represent, was leading a consortium of good-willing organization, PIARC, the World Road Association, IRAP, so Road Assessment, and the Tanzania Road Association. Together, we brought our expertise, and thanks to the support of the fund, we had the chance to bring our expertise to Tanzania, to the field. And since the very beginning, the project has been able to really impact how many thousands of kilometers are being of new or existing roads are being designed, upgraded, and managed in Tanzania. And we were able also to quantify those results. How did we manage to do that? Working in partnership. And that's really the core essence of that seed of funding that comes from the fund. That seed of funding helped us get to Tanzania, mobilize other funding from the Global Road Safety Facility of the World Bank, let alone connect the work that we were doing on the ground with ongoing investments, which are funded by many of the multilateral development banks in the country. We brought to the table everyone that in Tanzania has anything directly or indirectly to do with road safety. And there was a huge investment in building the institutional capacity. Our project was really focusing on infrastructure. We really invested in building the institutional capacity, meaning helping the country shaping a strategy and action plan, revising their own road design standards. So very basic elements. But without those, if you build with standards that are not taking into consideration the safety of all road users. But then we made a huge investment into people. We need to build the capacity within the countries to be able to deliver. And I'm happy to report that we were able to train more than 600 people certified, which means really tough training and testing for them on road safety audits, on road safety assessments. And in the end, we're able to certify 146 and leave behind us a national road assessment program in place, locally owned and managed, and a new training and accreditation system for the country. So meaning not just delivering a project, but planting a seeds that it's owned by the local people and that they can now bring forward now that all these connections and partnerships have been put in place thanks to this project.
Thank you very much for walking us through one of the 5 pillars that the fund is working on in one of the 5 regions that the fund is working on, which is on safe road design, safe road infrastructure in Africa. Now, briefly, I would like to turn our attention to another part of the work of the fund, which is looking at enforcement. And we have the Honorable Minister of Transport on video message. We'll ask the team to play that message now. So that we can learn a little bit about what's happening there.
Hace pocos meses, la Organización Mundial de la Salud convocó en la Argentina un encuentro para analizar la situación de la seguridad vial a nivel mundial. En ese encuentro se destacó que estamos ante una nueva pandemia, la pandemia de las muertes por siniestros viales. Por eso el apoyo del Fondo de Seguridad Vial de Naciones Unidas a la seguridad vial en la Argentina y en el mundo es fundamental para combatir esta realidad. Sus resultados se vieron reflejados en el informe del año 2022 del Fondo, titulado Acciones Locales, Impacto Global. Vemos que, pese a haber trabajado muy fuerte a través de la Agencia Nacional de Seguridad Vial y haber reducido las tasas de fatalidad en siniestros viales en un 30% en los últimos 4 años respecto a la prepandemia, en nuestras carreteras aún tenemos 10.5 muertes por día en siniestros viales. Esto impone una gran carga en nuestra sociedad, causando un daño incalculable en todos los aspectos, y por eso consideramos que la seguridad vial urbana y rural es una prioridad urgente para todos nosotros. Desde el año 2020 hemos trabajado junto a la CEPAL, respaldados por el Fondo de Seguridad Vial de Naciones Unidas, con formación y con capacitación técnica para abordar la gestión de la velocidad en nuestra red vial nacional. Durante estos 4 años hemos implementado nuevas medidas para controlar los límites de velocidad. Instalamos radares, impulsamos un verdadero cambio cultural en el uso de herramientas de seguridad como el cinturón de seguridad y como el casco, ofreciendo cascos en forma gratuita a quienes tomen cursos de capacitación en todo sentido. Impulsamos normas fundamentales como el sistema de puntos que se descuentan con la licencia de conducir a quienes cometen infracciones, y logramos poner en vigencia algo muy importante como la ley de alcohol cero al volante a nivel nacional, para que el límite tolerable de alcohol para conducir sea 0 en todas las rutas nacionales. Estas medidas generan un progreso muy alentador, pero todos sabemos que mientras haya una sola muerte en siniestros viales, el trabajo debe continuar.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. So we've heard from our partners in the room on their views of the work of the fund and the global road safety situation in general. Now it's time to hear from you. If there are any questions in the room or online, now is the moment to share them. Nope. Okay. So just as well, because we started quite late and we're already out of time. So with that, I'd like to thank you very much for your participation, for the support of our partners, and wishing you all the best. Please, as I said, go to our website, roadsafetyfund.un.org, and easily download the report. Thank you so much.